All right, we got the day one jitters out of the way. It's day two of the PGL Major in Antwerp. Welcome back, everybody, to the HLTV recap show presented by GG.BET. I'm Moses. I'm going to be walking you through all the action today. We sent 2 teams forward to the Legend stage. We sent 2 teams home. The other 12 teams all jockeying for position, battling in those 1-to-1 matchups. You can see here the schedule for the day. forZe shocking many with a chance to qualify today at 3-0, but they had Vitality in their way. ENCE and G2 both looking to show what kind of level they're bringing to the Major. Most teams just looking to position themselves for a chance to go through to the Legend stage tomorrow. Yesterday was a day of blowouts, but today the competition was absolutely fierce. First matchup, Bad News Eagles taking on Imperial. When your heart goes out to both teams, which one do you pick? The grizzled veterans of Brazil taking on the upstart underdogs of Kosovo. If you pick the Brazilians, boy was the first half rough for you. Blazing start for Bad News Eagles. They were 13-2 at the halftime break. This guy on your screen, GXX, was absolutely magnificent. He was 27-6 in the opening half alone. After the game, he would mention Fallen as an inspiration to his own CS career. So huge props to the young man for putting up this kind of a performance right in the face of his role model. He would end with 33 kills to help outlast an Imperial comeback. 16-12 for Bad News Eagles. Spirit taking on Eternal Fire. Patsy has had some ups and downs since joining Spirit for the 2022 season, but there's nothing down about his performance in the Challenger stage so far. He's tied for the 5th best player of the whole event at this point. Today, he helped bring Spirit to a 2-1 record, set up nicely for a qualification bid tomorrow. 21 kills on Magix, 20 kills on Dexter, and Spirit takes Dust 2 16-11. There's a lot of exciting and well-known names on this Eternal Fire team, but still nothing concrete has come out of the Turkish side that allows anyone to really get all that pumped for. You can see Patsy here styling with the AWP, but this play from Chopper was spectacular. That seals the map. That seals the victory for Spirit. Outsiders taking on Complexity. Man, Complexity has had the entire experience so far at the Major. 1-16 blowout loss, 16-13 narrow victory, and now they get Jame time. The Russian sniper logs 23 kills and only 5 deaths. Think back to Complexity's opening game where ZywOo didn't die a single time, and there's some real big problems you can see with Complexity dealing with Oppers. Of course, at this point, there's way bigger problems for Complexity as they're just 1 loss away from elimination. Outsiders may be a dead team walking, but nobody's told them. They aren't dead yet. 16-9 victory over the Dallas Cowboys Esports Club, and they'll move on to fight another day. Astralis taking on MIBR. I bet Astralis was feeling real good at the end of the first half in this game. BlameF had 19 kills, Barlick had 15, and Astralis was up 12-3, but that is when MIBR got started. A little bit late, but it's all good. They bring it back all the way to 13-15. Astralis would eventually put them away on their 3rd attempt, their 3rd map point. Zipic said afterwards the game overall is feeling very CT side of it. Maybe that's just because they had to work hard for their win today. Turtle would match BlameF with 23 kills each, but MIBR would eventually fall to 1-2 in the Challenger stage and have no more mistakes to give. Those were the matches of the teams that were all 1-1 after the opening stages of the Swiss system yesterday. Now we move on to the high-pressure matches. 2-0 matches, the 0-2 matches. Pressure caused by the ability to move on to the Legend stage, or the pressure caused by the cruising altitude all the way home. Everything on the line for all these teams. You can see the schedule here of the best of 3 series we have coming up. Vitality and forZe. G2 ENCE is going to be a big one. Marquee matchup there. IHC taking on Renegades, and Liquid up against 9Z to see if the North American side is going to get eliminated way too early from this event. Renegades, IHC. Australia versus Mongolia. Home is a long way from Antwerp for both of these squads. The Aussies taking on the Mongolians in a clash that would decide the fate of diamond coins all around the world. Those 0-3 pick'ems are in a dire strait. Worrying signs for Renegades. Just a short while ago at the Asian RMR, IHC was able to trounce them 16-4 and 16-10 in 2 maps. Right out of the gates, it looked like things would play out exactly the same way. IHC runs out to a quick 8-3 lead on the T side of Inferno, but some strong rounds from Renegades and some strong rounds from Liaz would allow Renegades to make a game of things. They'd eventually drop Inferno 10-16, which is not looking good. The entire continent, the entire country of Australia really having a rough time of things. Dust 2 was close all the way through. It's going to be the 2nd map of this series, and at one point it was even tied up 11-11, but that just made the loss all the more heartbreaking. Another rough early exit for Australian teams at the Major. The only real bright spot in this series for Renegades is Alistair killing it in opening duels. Unfortunately, the team obviously wasn't able to capitalize on all the things that provided. For IHC, for the Mongolians, it's a great showing for man of the match Blitz. Some wild stats in this series as he propels IHC to day 3 with 53 frags. And I mean, look, Mongolians continue to impress. Representing Asian Counter-Strike, it's got to be a great feeling for these guys coming up. They've had to watch former Mongolians such as Machine Gun, such as Urkas come through, not being able to achieve anything. Now they've got that chance. Here's Blitz, 1.52 rating throughout the series. Absolutely stunning. That would lead us straight into Vitality versus forZe in a best-of-3 series. This is to move on to the Legend stage. You know what? There always seems to be one team each major from the CIS region who seems to have a huge jump in performance at a perfect moment to cause real problems for their opponents. It obviously helps as well. forZe has Jerry, just a fantastic player, very charismatic, and obviously a fan favorite. This event feels like forZe could be the team who causes all the issues. They've made a couple of waves in previous events dating back to the end of last year, but a chance to go 3-0 and qualify for the Legend stage just seems crazy. Less crazy after an opening map victory on Nuke despite these incredible shots from ZywOo. What a great sequence on the run boost as well. They put Vitality on notice at the very least. It's felt at times in this year that ZywOo has kind of gotten lost in the conversation as Vitality hasn't clicked nearly as fast as they expected, but today they hit quite a groove. Powered by the aforementioned superstar, ZywOo would get 60 kills in this series as Vitality bounces back on map 2 to force a third. I'll tell you what though, ZywOo has the numbers, but Apex had some insane impact. He had some big-time clutches, some big-time moments to help propel this team forward. It's a great series altogether for forZe. When you think Zorti, Shelfie, Kenzie wasn't enough to overcome the French and Danish combination despite the fact that they had good games. We're going to book our first team in this Challenger stage towards the Legend stage. It's going to be Vitality to make it. Here's a beautiful, spectacular pair of shots from Apex as he delivers. Look at these guys. Look at ZywOo and Magisk. What a series from those two as they move on to the next stage. Ooh, an entire continent held their breath for this series as Liquid takes on 9Z. Everyone, including Team Liquid themselves, likely shocked to see them 0-2 after the first day. Both teams coming into this game on losing streaks of 3 or more matches, but only one of them has the weight of an entire region resting on their shoulders. It was an early 5-1 lead for 9Z. Wasn't looking good for Team Liquid, but that disappeared quickly when Naf got going on Ancient. He ends with 26 kills on the map. A 9-3 CT side for Liquid after they switch sides with Seal Map 1. Overpass comes in next, but this time 3 members of Liquid play well. They'd ensure that the North Americans never even had to smell elimination in the series. 25 kills for Elige, 23 kills for OC, 22 for Shox as well, and a positive bit of deja vu for Team Liquid as another 9-3 second half run would secure them the map and the series. Liquid lives to fight another day, and 9Z is our second team to pack their bags and get sent home. For Team Liquid though, man, it's looked a little bit sketchy, and you have the expectations of all of North America, and as its kind of darling team as well, those expectations are set high. No matter how bad the North American region seems, everyone expects Team Liquid to be fighting for that playoff spot. They've got a long way to go. G2 ENCE. Oh, baby. I was waiting all day for this matchup, and I've been waiting all show to get here. Real talk. You're going to be seeing both these teams in the Legend stage next week. This match was for fun. It was for fireworks. It was simply a teaser for what's to come. Essentially, this match to me was a sign of what level these teams will be competing at in this major. There was some shakiness in G2 yesterday as they narrowly avoided a comeback loss. There was none of that today, and they needed it to get back on the right foot. Go down the G2 checklist today. Star player NiKo performed at an extremely high level. His right-hand man and cousin Hunter was kicking ass and taking names. Young phenom Opper Modesty delivered opening kills and fast flicks. Even Alexi B, the IGL, was winning miraculous clutches that he had no business winning. G2 sends a message they aren't here to mess around. All that confidence they spoke of coming into this event, it's being rewarded and it's being showcased here today. For ENCE, it's not quite a disaster. They've had a meteoric rise recently and a good run at multiple events. They were blown out on 2 maps in this series, which surely hurts, but Spinx's land buff continues as he logged 63 kills in this series. Spinx is someone to keep our eyes on for years to come. Some adversity this early in the tournament for ENCE may actually be a good thing, maybe a comeback to reality moment for ENCE, something that lets them know they haven't quite achieved what they're here for just yet. These last few months have been amazing for them and the team. There's no reason to think that they'll stop here. And man, you just can't speak enough about this G2 team and all the weapons they had and how they delivered today, and that's the scariest prospect. We saw it in flashes at Katowice and in other events. When this team clicks, they're very, very hard to stop. Just look at this clutch for Alexi B. It is so wild. It doesn't make any sense that he's able to win this. An incredible shot. I'm speechless. Good win for Alexi B. Better win for G2. They move on to the legend stage, and ENCE is going to have to fight tomorrow for their own spot. Look at NiKo. 72 and 49, 91 ADR, 1.36 rating. That's beautiful. Well, all right then. Day 2 delivered. We've sent G2. We've sent Vitality onto the legend stage. We waved goodbye to Renegades and 9Z. Unfortunately, they won't be joining us. But look at the top 5 players of the Challenger stage so far. BlameF, ZywOo, Dexter on Spirit, NiKo, Aegis. Some huge names picking up their game at the biggest time. These are the matchups we're going to have for you tomorrow. Astralis versus Spirit, forZe Outsiders, ENCE BNE. That's to move on to the next stage. And obviously the 1 and 2 matchups, the elimination games, Complexity Liquid is the big one there. One NA team is headed home. That's going to be painful. And as always, a word from our sponsor. Use the code HLTV in order to get first bet insurance and an extra percentage on deposits depending on how close we are to the major final. More information is available in the YouTube description below. Please gamble responsibly. That's it. That's our show. GG's. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow after another day of the PGL Major in Antwerp.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG.BET. This is real.